Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I've done a mixing video. I wanted to talk a little bit about how I redid the introduction to the video. You saw when this video opened, I've got a new introduction audio that goes along with that pretty cool video I have there, and I just wanted to show you how I did that. First, I want to show you a comparison. This is the old intro. Just give a look and a listen to this. And now this is the new intro. Give a listen to this one. Okay, you can see there's a distinct difference between the two. One is I added some keyboard, some organ, to give it a little bit more presence. But I redid the bass part and the lead part. But I wanted to show you how I mixed it here. I've been doing a lot of research on mixing, being a novice or someone who's just, been only doing home recording for about 2 years now. I can still consider myself a novice engineer. I'm learning as I go along. I've listened to a number of podcasts, reading and researching on the web, and I've really decided to change my whole approach to mixing. Traditionally, what I've been doing is doing what they call solo EQing, and what that means is basically taking each track, soloing it, and then doing corrective EQing, doing compression, and doing shaping. And that's fine, but the problem is if you do that for each track individually and then you try to meld them together, you're really trying to put pieces of a puzzle together that might just not fit. I guess that's the best analogy that I can use. It's still important to do what's known as corrective EQing. That is, if I open up this EQ here, you can see that at these frequencies, I've actually taken out frequencies that just don't sound very good. They make the whole sound of the song sound off, whether it's a screech or a scratch or a high pitch that just doesn't belong there. This is the best way to clean that out, and I still will do that using soloing. Okay, but when it comes to the actual shaping of a particular instrument, that really needs to be done with the other instrument, with the other tracks playing. That being said, the philosophy behind it is, if you think about what the most important element of your song is, it's really the melody. Anything that carries the melody. The lead vocal, if it's an instrumental, the lead guitar, let's say, that's the most important part. I mean, for me, in this song, it's this part right here. Okay, that's what I want to stand out when this song plays. Everything else is going to be around it. The drums, the bass, the guitar parts, they're going to be the organ. It's going to be accompanying that lead. That lead basically is what I want people to focus on. And people that are people listening to music, that's what they tend to focus on, the melody. So the philosophy is to start with the melody. Okay. When you're mixing, start with the melody, and as you get that to the way you want it to sound, then you start to add other parts. Now you could either add the rhythm section, start with the drums, then add the bass, and then add the guitars, or whatever flow you want to work. But what it allows you to do is to sculpt the song the way you want to do it. And the way I did this was I used a spectrum meter. Studio One has a pretty cool one, okay? And I started with the lead, okay? I'm just going to put this in loop back here and just show you what I did. Obviously, it took me a lot more time to do each one individually and get it the way I wanted to sound. But I took the lead, I got that the way I wanted to sound, okay? And And then what I did is I added in rhythm guitar. Okay. So I sculpted that so that they blended well. Then I had this kind of like chopping part that I wanted to add in, so I sculpted that so it would blend in well with those two parts. If you listen to this, you'll hear it. Okay. So and to do that, I was actually playing with the EQ quite a bit to make sure it fit in well with the main purpose of that lead, that solo, being the main part of the song. After that, I blended in the organ because I wanted to make sure that that had a place and that it wasn't overpowering, because it's a lot of mid in an organ, and it wasn't overpowering the others. So if you give that a listen. Okay. And once I had that with the way I wanted to sound, and again, I'm doing this very quickly. It took me time to, to basically bring up the EQ and listen to the parts. Like, for example, I'll show you here. I'll show you how I tweak the organ. You can hear the difference. So. I wanted that high part of the organ to really stand out, so I had to bring that up a little bit. And I wanted to basically shape down the mids a little bit, just to hollow out a part so that the lead could still stand on, the solo could still stand on its own. And I had to do that to basically fit that in with the other elements of the song. Okay. Once I had that, then I brought in the bass. Okay. Okay. And then finally, I brought the drums in. I mean, I know it's odd, okay? It seems like it's backwards, but I'm telling you, it really is a great workflow. Okay. There's no magic method. I guess each song could be differently depending on what's important in the song. For example, if the organ happened to be really important in this song, I'd probably spend a lot of time making sure that that was present. But for me, in this quick song, the most important thing is the lead and the rhythm section to carry the 10 seconds that it is. So I guess in a nutshell, what you've got here is a different approach, and I've seen this talked about in a few places, but it seems to be maybe a different approach to how you might go about it. Focus on getting the solo or the melody part of your song exactly the way you want it, and then blend in the other parts using once you've done corrective EQing. I'm sorry, that's the first step, and you could solo to do corrective EQing. But once you do your corrective EQing, then you focus on bringing in each part, starting with the melody part. And let's say a song where there's a vocal, that would be the lead vocal and maybe the background vocal. So you'd want to get all those sounding exactly the way you want it to sound. Okay? And then you would bring in the other parts to complement that. Because really what you're doing is you're complementing the melody. And that's, in the end, my belief is a great mix is a song where the melody stands out and is accompanied by the rest of the rhythm section and the other parts that are in the song. So I just wanted to share that with everyone. I hope that's helpful. It was certainly helpful for me, and I've used this technique on other songs, and it's worked really well. It actually even shortens the amount of time. Traditionally what I was doing was starting with drums, then going with bass, then adding the rhythm guitars, then adding like organ or cetera, and then putting voodoo vocals last. And what ended up happening was I'd have to keep adjusting the part that I did before, and it would have to constantly go back to the drums and the bass and just basically to make adjustments, and it would take forever. In this case, this song here, I know it's a short song, it's only 10 seconds, but I literally did this in like a half hour, and I had it exactly the way I wanted it. So I think going this way will really improve workflow. But the main important thing is I think it'll make your music sound better. So just food for thought. I hope this was helpful. Please comment and subscribe, and thanks for watching, and we'll take it out with a new intro. Here it is.